What's up, my Central Unit? It's the Central Man here, so this is my review of WrestleMania 41 Night 2, or WrestleMania 41 Sunday. I was supposed to, do this review later on in the week, between, Thursday or Friday, but I kind of, forgot, I was kind of busy. So, by the time this video is uploaded on my channel, will be on Sunday, so my apologies, it's 1 week after Mania 41, so it's just what it is. So we've got about, 2-3 weeks until Backlash. I'll get my thoughts on Mania 41 Night 2 at the end of this video when I do my overall rating of this show. And the one update about Night 2 of Mania 41 is, it's less shorter than Night 1 of Mania 41 because the previous evening was 4 hours long. This show is about 3 hours. That is possibly that is the sweet spot of a wrestling show. I feel like Night 1's a bit boring. It's just it's not slow plotting, but it's just doing a 4 hour wrestling show. It's just a bad decision. It's just too long. It's too boring. I think the sweet spot for a wrestling show is about 2 to 3 hours, or maybe 3.5. But 4 hours, nah. But anyway, so let's talk about the first night of Mania 41 Night 2. So the first match to kick off Night 2 of WrestleMania 41. We got the triple threat match for the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Io Sky defending the belts against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. This is match of the night as far, man. Of Night 2, We'll get to the rest of the matches of the show later, but this is the match of the night, man. It's really good, really action-packed. It's funny that, in the two triple threat matches of the 2 nights of WrestleMania 41, those matches are match of the night. Night 1's triple threat match was CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and now this we got Io, Rhea, and Bianca. Really stole the show for Night 2 of WrestleMania 41. So anyway, it's really good. Probably the best. I don't know, but it's probably one of the best women's triple threat matches I ever seen. It's really structured pretty well. One moment is Io versus Rhea. Io is Io Sky, actually, and the next moment is Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, or Bianca versus Io. You've got I don't know, is Bianca Belair NXT champion? I don't think she was NXT Women's Champion. I'm not 100% sure. I know Io was NXT Women's Champion. Rhea Ripley was Women's Champion. She's I can't really call her a triple crown. She's she was NXT Women's. No, actually, she won every women's championship in this company. I think she was, the NXT Women's UK Champion. She was the NXT Women's Champion. She was the Raw Women's Champion. She was the SmackDown Women's Champion. She's the Women's World Heavyweight Champion. She won 5 title belts since, she's been in the company for about almost a decade. Wow. But anyway, let's get back to this match. I'm kind of gone off the topic. So anyway, yeah, it was a really fucking good match, and it's structured really damn well. I said in my Io Sky rant review, it wasn't really that good rant. I was kind of repeating myself. I think dropping the belt to Rhea was a bad decision. I don't mind this triple threat match. It'd be okay if they not have Rhea dropping the belt to Io. The night. It's the Raw after the Elimination Chamber the previous month. But besides that, it's really good. I feel let me think. You had Bianca Belair, kicked out of the Riptide by Rhea Ripley perform. I think Io, I think Bianca hit the KOD. I'm talking about the first attempt onto, I think it was Io or Rhea. I think it was on Io, and Rhea broke up the pin. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know that, one more in the match, is it, yeah, I think Rhea was going for like the super riptide off the top rope. I think Io Sky kind of countered it. She was going for the moonsault. Rhea countered that. Yeah, there were a lot of counters. I'm trying to keep it short and simple. Like, I'm not a type of guy who analyze wrestling matches by move. I'm not that type of guy. I just I just talk about what I see. But anyway, so in the end, like Bianca hitting, I think they were countering, the finishes of the Riptide and the KOD. In the end, I think Bianca Belair using it. That's a typical if you watch a Bianca Belair match, every time the opponent's always pouring on Bianca Belair's ponytail, she gotta use the ponytail as a weapon onto Rhea, hit the KOD onto her, and then managed to hit the moonsault onto Bianca while she's attempt to pin Rhea. So Io Sky won this match and retained the women's title. You can tell she was getting over in this match. You can tell she's got the palm of the the crowd in the palm on her hand. Yeah, I'm really not really sold on Io Sky as women's champion. I understand she was day-to-day women's champion. I understand she did that. That was setting up the feud between her and Bayley. But yeah. I was not a huge fan they dropped the belt to Rhea. And also Rhea's entrance for this WrestleMania is a downgrade. Last year's WrestleMania, she came out with her with the band who's singing her actual theme song. With the makeup and the face. I think it was a bit of the face paint. That was a good, awesome look of Rhea's entrance. But this is just a massive downgrade. It's a bit of a downgrade. But anyway, so what's next for all three guys? Or girls actually. So it's a really awesome match. Before that, I feel I forgot to mention Io did I think she did a double blockbuster on both Bianca and Rhea. Instead of do it, with her knees, it's hard to explain. Just go and check it out, man. She did a double blockbuster on both women, even though Io's shorter. Bianca and Rhea, they're both similar in height and structure. I'm gonna say about Bianca Belair, she is super jacked. She's got some good deltoids. Both I always wow, it's Rhea had some good deltoids as well, but she's got some good shoulders, man, good physique as well. But what's next for the women in the women's world title picture? I think this is going to be Rhea versus Io, but I don't know. But I feel with Bianca Belair, I think she's leaning heel in this match. I think she got slightly booed. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a few days. I watched the show on, I think it was Wednesday, and my memory's a bit fainted. So anyway, so I think she was like I said, whipping Rhea with the ponytail. I'm speculating that Bianca's gonna turn heel, align herself with Naomi, during Naomi's rivalry with Jade Cargill. I want to see this match between Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. That would be good. I think she's done everything could as a babyface. She's been a babyface for a very long time. I think a heel Bianca Belair run will be good for her. But Io, I don't think Io's gonna hold that belt much longer. I don't think she's gonna drop it to Backlash. I can see her dropping it at Money in the Bank. I think that's in July, or probably at SummerSlam, but we don't know. Time will tell. So anyway, I think go and check this women's triple threat match for the women's world title, man. It's really cool. It's really good match. You know, really, in my opinion, like I said, it's match of the night for night 2 for WrestleMania 41. Anyway, so the next match we got the Sin City Street Fight. Damian Priest taking on Drew McIntyre. Priest came out with the lead guitarist of, playing, Priest's theme music. I can't remember what it's called. I think it Rise to the Fire. I can't remember what it's called, but it's really a good theme. Priest's theme is sick. With Drew's entrance, it's like a cyborg type of theme. I think it's it gives Blade match of his theme, his nickname actually. Was it the Scottish Terminator? To be honest, he's in good shape, man. But you got like the helmet of the robot. It looks like the helmet from if you play Halo. Anyway, it came out with robotic cyborg gear, also wearing his traditional kilt. Anyway, this match is fucking good, man. It's a good follow-up to the opener. They haven't fought one-on-one since Clash of the Castle in Scotland last year. They had a good match. Because it's really this show took place. This is 1 year, actually 1 year since this, you could say, kind of rivalry between Priest versus McIntyre began. Drew beat Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship, and then CM Punk attacked him. This was during the rivalry between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, and then Priest cashed the briefcase onto Drew McIntyre after he beat Seth Rollins for the title, beats Drew for the title, and then I think it was 2 months later at Clash of the Castle, they had the one-on-one match. That was a really good match, and then Punk cost Drew the championship still in that rivalry. So fast forwards, months later, actually in the month prior to this, you had Priest eliminated Drew in the Elimination Chamber match, and then Drew got pissed off, attacked him, allowed Logan Paul to eliminate Priest in that same Chamber match. To lead up to this match on the show. I haven't seen the most of the build to this. And also before that, I think Drew teamed up with Priest in the War Games match, teaming up with the Judgment Day in that War Games match at Survivor Series of 2023. This was like Drew was starting out as a heel. Anyway, so the match was really, like I said, I really like this match. I feel like there's some good chemistry between Priest and Drew McIntyre. They're both similar in height. One moment of the match, I think one moment of the match, Drew did a selfie. I saw it, on Instagram. He did like a selfie. I think got one of his I think there was a guy. I think he's a relative to Drew McIntyre. He was wearing the Scotland football shirt. He gave Drew the cell phone, and he did the selfie while he's laying on to Priest outside of the ring. That was kind of funny. Kind of showing Drew some personality. Anyway, so this was really good. I think one more match. I think one of them kind of throw like a still steps into one at one of each other's faces. I think it was Drew on Priest or Priest on Drew. It's vice versa. I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, so you had I think Damian Priest kicked out of the Claymore kick by Drew McIntyre, and then I think McIntyre, kicked out of the what's Priest's finisher or nickname called? Not nickname, but his finisher is called. Oh, yeah, South to Heaven chokeslam. Or is it South to Heaven or South from Heaven? Well, anyway, anyway, so there were some table spots. You had Drew got put through the table by Priest. Priest hit the Razor's Edge onto Drew. And then a few minutes later, Drew, Priest was going for like it's similar to the Undertaker's Old School. I think he did it with it's the Old School with the Hurricane Run, I think, but instead Drew kind of I think he threw him onto the table outside the ring. Anyway, so in the end, Drew kind of I think he placed the chair onto the middle turnbuckle of the ring, and placed Yeah, I think he placed Priest's head onto the chair into the middle turnbuckle of the ring. I think it was on the right or left side of the ring, and then Drew hit the Claymore kick onto Priest while he said on wedge onto that chair. So that was kind of like a sick spot, and like, he felt like he didn't like kicked. He felt like he's not knocked out or bleed of this. I think he's sounding like he couldn't breathe. So anyway, so Drew won this match. The funny part afterwards, you had like the referee kind of check up onto Damian Priest, and then Drew kind of manhandled the referee, hold his hand, and made him to raise his hand in victory. That's kind of funny. And I think that could be that. I think that was the end of the McIntyre and Priest rivalry. I might be wrong about this, depending if they're gonna fight at Backlash, in 2-3 weeks time. But I feel like this match might, if one of them win this match, I don't think it's gonna hurt them, because at this moment in time, I think both Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest are kind of like established stars. For Drew, I don't know what the situation going into this, like, would Drew be back in the world title picture? Don't know. Like, he needs to win a title, man. Like, it's funny to me, Drew haven't won a title for 4 fucking years. Like, 4 years. Since he won the WWE title, No, he didn't win the WWE title. I think he was WWE champion, but he got, he lost the title to The Miz, after the attack by Bobby Lashley. So it's been 4 years. He's lost the Universal title match against Roman Reigns at Clash of the Castle in Wales in 2022. Lost the triple threat match, against Gunther and Sheamus at Mania 39. So it's been a long time. No, I'm not. What the fuck I'm saying? What the fuck? No, he won the world title last year. No, I forgot. It's been a long time, man. I just got my mixed up. He did won the world title. What the fuck I'm saying? It wasn't 4 years. What the hell I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to say, I think he needs to get back in the title picture, man. Like, I can see him continue this rivalry down the road, but who knows? But the build to Backlash, man, it's only 2 weeks. I wish they'd just put the show until the end of May. Pace it out more, give it more build. But it's just what it is, man. So yeah, I think it was a good follow-up to the triple threat match from night 2 of WrestleMania 41. Anyway, so moving on to the next match. The next match is the fatal 4-way match for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker defended the belt against Penta and Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. Oh, this is really good, man. Shockingly, that was 10 minutes long, but it was really, I think they crammed a lot of moments in this match. I say Braun Breaker's a star, man. Like, I think he's a potential star. I think to me, he's got that Goldberg look, even though, he's related to, he's the father of Rick Steiner, he's the uncle of Big Papa Pump, but he's just got that presence, he's going out there killing people, I feel like one more of the match, I think Penta did a move off the top rope and onto Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. I think that was that, and then out of nowhere, you had Braun hit Penta with a flying shoulder tackle, and then minutes after that, Penta was going for the Penta driver. I think it was onto Finn Balor or Dominic. I'm not 100% sure, and Braun countered it with a double suplex. That was cool, man. That guy's got. That guy's got really got some potential to be a main eventer. He's over. The fans were doing the barking. Yeah, it's a shame because he's the father of Rick Steiner. The dog-faced gremlin. Anyway, so there's some tension between Balor and Mysterio. I think Penta hit the There's one break. I think that was a breakup. Penta. I think he hit the sacrifice. Pulling the shoulder back onto Finn, and I think he hit him with a Penta driver. And I think it was a breakup. I think it was Dominic or Braun broke up the pinfall. So anyway, there was a tension between Balor and Dominic Mysterio. I think it was leading up to this. They're kind of clashing heads. Carlito. interfering. I'll get to the card a little bit shortly. So anyway, so one more of the match. I think Dominic hit Finn with the 619. He kind of blocked it. Anyway, Carlito did interfere. I think he pulled Balor out of the ring. Not Balor out of the ring. I think he brought Braun Breaker out of the ring. I think there was a pinfall attempt. I might be wrong. And I think Carlito kind of pulled I think he pulled one of them out of the ring. He got speared by Braun Breaker. He did like a flying spear off the I think it was like in the timekeeper area, and put Carlito through the table. I'm gonna say about Carlito, man, I don't think he fit the Judgment Day. I'm gonna say it again when I get to the women's tag team title match, but I'm gonna say I think the Judgment Day is on its last legs. I think that group needs to be broken up. The Judgment Day's been around for 3 years, but this version is just on its last legs because the first version was Edge, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley. They added Finn Balor. Then the second version of the group was they added like JD Madonna, added Dominic Mysterio. And now this version is on its last legs, man. Like Carlito, I'm gonna say about Carlito, I don't think he fit in this group very easily. I don't think he fit in this era of WWE, man. I think he came back to the company far too late. It's the point that I think the company kind of moved away from Carlito. And yeah, he's trying to get to appeal to the new audience, new wrestling fans. Never seen Carlito in the Ruthless Aggression era. But I think at this moment in time, I think he's just on an island somewhere. So anyway, so in the end, I think Balor hit the I think he hit the coup de grace onto Braun Breaker, and then Dominic Mysterio hit the frog splash, while he hit the frog splash onto Finn Balor. This was after he hit his finisher onto Braun Breaker. Dom won this match and become the Intercontinental Champion for the first time. He's won his first major first major singles belt on the main roster. Yeah, he was North American Champion twice in NXT, but on the main roster, he's never been a champion, a singles champion. He's been tag team champion with his father Ray, but and also before that he came out with the white mask. I think it's referencing and paying tribute to his uncle. That's Rey Mysterio Sr. That was cool. But besides that, I think I'm fine with Dom winning the title. I feel that at this moment in time, I think Braun, his title run was fine. It was okay. It was decent, but it's a shame he never got the chance to defend it on pay-per-view. I think the only time he defended it on pay-per-view was in Survivor Series of last year. The triple threat match between him, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. But he had a decent run, and I think at this moment in time, he's now aligned himself with Seth Rollins. I'm guessing he's not turning babyface. I think he's just better off being the heel, but it's just what it is. He's kind of like a tweener at this moment in time. But get back to Dominic Mysterio. I think him winning the United States title, I think he needs to win a singles belt. I think he should have won the title. He should have won a singles belt like almost 2 years ago. Instead of Logan Paul winning the United States title, that should be Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio. Even though they had that match before. Already had that match, at WrestleMania 39, but it'd be cool to beat his father for the championship instead of Logan Paul, because I think Logan Paul winning the United States title. I'm gonna get to that when we'll get to the Logan Paul match later on in this review. That he brings nothing for the title, man. So at least Dom probably do something with the IC title. I think he'll probably have a good run. I think this is leading up to the breakup of the Judgment Day. I can see Dom turning babyface. I think he's got a good babyface reaction. Balor got booed out of the building. I don't see Finn getting kicked out of the group. I think Finn being a babyface at this moment in time, no. I can see Dom getting kicked out of the group. I like I said, I think they need to break up the group. I think it's on its last leg. I feel I don't know. I feel with Finn, he's kind of a secondary member of the group now. I feel he's not the leader. I feel I didn't see most of the segments clips. I feel in this every time they cut to the Judgment Day, I feel Liv Morgan is more of the leader of the group than Finn Balor. It's just what it is. So Anyway, let's match number 3. We had the women's triple threat match. We had Priest versus Drew in the Sin City match. Now we got the Fatal 4-Way for the IC title. So match number 4. We got Randy Orton versus the mysterious opponent. It was originally supposed to be Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens is now taking time off due to neck surgery. And get well, Kevin Owens. It's really a shame that we're not going to get that match. Or Randy trying to get the guy that really put him out of action for months. You know, teasing like Orton's going to punt Kevin Owens in the head, but it's just what it is, man. I think like it's wear and tears of his neck. You know, we don't know. He might come back later on in the year. I think won't see Kevin Owens again. Who knows? He might be back later on in the year, maybe in the autumn time. But I think he's coming back. Won't see him again until next year in 2026. I don't think that we'll renew this rivalry because I think maybe Randy's basically might move on to that. They'll probably do something else with feuding with a different opponent by the time if Kevin Owens come back. So. Anyway, so the mysterious opponent for Randy Orton is TNA World Champion Joe Hendry, man. Wow, the guy's over at this moment in time, man. I feel like he's got a hit theme. I believe in Joe Hendry. The guy's a TNA World Champion. He's a good singer, you know. I watch this like it's on ICW's YouTube channel. You know, that's the same Championship Wrestling. It's a promotion in Scotland. And he's doing like parody of themes of songs, like the Miley Cyrus song. He did a parody song to was it Bohemian Rhapsody? You know, the song by Queen. I think he did like can't remember the theme. No, I can't remember. You can tell how talented Joe Hendry is, you know, as a singer, you know. Anyway, so yeah, Hendry made his you could say debut. You know, he showed up at the Royal Rumble in January. No, not January. February. Sorry, forgot there's no pay-per-view in January, but the Rumble this year was in February. Anyway, so this match is just 3 minutes long. It's the shortest match of the night. 3 minutes. Yeah, I feel sorry. Joe Hendry didn't have any offense. They had one offense. I can't remember. He did like the pose. You know, every time you see like his theme music, you know. He does like that smile. Yeah, in the end, Orton hit the RKO out of nowhere to win this match. You know, I don't think he buried Joe Hendry, you know, but I feel like wish they had more time. I think it's a bit criminal, you know. I feel, you know, even though this match has no build because of Kevin Owens' injury, but we should like just give him more exposure, showcase he can perform on a bigger stage. But it's just what it is. In the end, Orton kind of adored this guy. It's a shame, but it's not the last time we see Joe Hendry. You know, even though he's TNA World Champion, he's signed with TNA. You know, I can see like him getting be in WWE in the main roster in the foreseeable future. You know, I don't think he's in TNA that long. You know, who knows? You know. You could tell, like, you know, they're in this good relationship with TNA. You know, TNA and WWE is actually in a working relationship. You know, like, you know, 12 or 15 years. It's funny, like 15 years prior, they're kind of like feuding, doing the whole Monday Night War. They're doing the next Monday Night War. That's kind of like a dud to. And also now they're in this working relationship. You know, it's good. You know, it's, you know. Given that TNA some exposure, like I doubt they will go back to the heights they did, you know, 15 years prior. But it's just what it is. Moving on to the next match. So the next match we've got AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I don't like this match. Not a bad match, but it's just a typical Logan Paul match. You know, the guy likes psychology. I think him and his brother Jake are just trolls. I think Logan is just there to troll the internet wrestling fans. You know, the indie fans, you know, they're just like the cruiserweight wrestlers who does the flash in the pan move. Besides that, there's a lot of shtick, like Paul. I think Logan Paul kind of like posing. I think it was a selfie. I think it was like some kind of drone. You don't see the drone, but it looks like a drone footage. But I don't want to go into this. I think AJ kicked out of, what's it called? The Pull from Grace. It's a frog splash. He does like these, 6 moves of doom. The Buckshot Larry he does. He does the jab. He does a thing called the Polarizer. We'll get to more of that shortly. He does the brass knuckle. To me personally, he's just like lacks psychology. The only reason he's there because I think he's the co-founder of Prime Energy Drinks. That was it. So, he hit AJ with his own style clash. I think he not sell and he managed to hit his own styles clash. And then it was bogged down with some bullshit. You got Jeff. I don't know what his surname. He's part of Logan Paul's entourage. And he's trying to give Logan Paul the brass knuckles. He got stopped by Karrion Kross. Kross tell AJ to use the brass knucks or the knuckle dusters. Same thing, but AJ kind of refused. He decks Karrion Kross. So in the end, Logan Paul hit the polarizer for the win. I don't think there's no follow up to AJ Styles Logan Paul. It happened at the Rumble when Logan Paul eliminated AJ Styles, But to me personally, not a big fan of Logan Paul, man. I feel like his matches are very forgettable. They're like 2 or even 3-star matches. They're very forgettable. If like his United States title reign was forgettable. I think he had some okay matches. They're not like, oh my god, I need to go watch a Logan Paul match. But I don't want to see him like the guy he's got too many he's got that X-Pac heat, he's got that go away heat, man, to be honest. So at this moment in time, I think, he didn't show up for the Raw after Mania, so the guy's a part-timer, let's be honest. He only showed up for the big shows, like this show, WrestleMania. He showed up at the Rumble. Maybe he might show up at Money in the Bank. He showed up some Saudi Arabia shows. Maybe, because I think they're doing Clash to Paris, that's later on in the year. Instead, they kind of changed the name to Clash of the Castle to Clash in Paris, so... I don't want to see him win a world title, man. He's kind of like they kind of put him in 2 world title matches in his run so far against Roman Reigns, and that was in 2022 or 2023. And then just last year he's just fought against Cody for the championship. So my theory, they're going to put the world title belt onto him. That'll be a bad mistake because I feel like this is going to be the modern day version of when WCW put the WCW World Title on David Arquette. I think that his title run is going to bomb. He just doesn't really. The problem is he lacks selling and psychology. He doesn't really take this shit seriously. Like I don't know, it's him or his brother. He fought against I know, like, Jake Paul fought against Mike Tyson, but with against Floyd Mayweather, I think it was him or Jake. And he didn't. He was mostly hugging Mayweather throughout the whole fight. I think they're just trolls. They're just trolling the fans. But I don't know, man. I think they need to move away from Logan Paul, man. I feel like his matches, they're just forgettable. They're not bad, but they're just like very forgettable. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. So let's move on to the next match. So the next match we've got the women's tag team title match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez of the Judgment Day defending the belts against Lyra Fakiri. She is the women's intercontinental champion against with her mysterious opponent, and that mysterious opponent was Becky Lynch. We haven't seen Becky in WWE for almost a year. I think she dropped the women's world title to Liv Morgan at, I think it was at King of the Queen of the Ring in June of last year. So And I thought we're never going to see Becky Lynch ever again. You know, she did. Yeah, and after that, I think she not renewing her contract. So I thought her time in WWE's over. You know, she's been in the company for a decade. You know, but now she's back. That was cool. But this match is just forgettable. You know, like it's shocking to me. I forgot to mention this. The Logan Paul AJ Styles match was about 17 minutes, man. I wish they cut this match in half, you know. Yeah, and AJ now I forgot to mention this before we get to the tag team title match, but you know, AJ's now looks like he's feuding his next program will be against Karrion Kross. I think it was supposed to be Bayley teaming up with. I think it was Lyra Fakiri teaming up with Bayley against Liv and Raquel, but instead, I think it was an angle. You know, someone attacked Bayley. I don't know who she is. It's very shocking to me. They're not gonna do. It's a shame we're never going to see the match between Bayley versus Raquel. Not Raquel. What's her name? Roxanne Perez. You know, that's it. Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania, man. Because they're teasing this match for months now. I thought this was going to lead up to a match at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, that's not really the case. But maybe they're going to fall at SummerSlam. We don't know. I don't know if Bayley's taking time off or I don't know. They're doing this storyline of who attacked Bayley. The match between both women in this match. It was kind of forgettable. It was kind of meh, standard. You know, the heels ganging up on Lyra Fakiri or Valkyria. I keep calling it Valkyrie, but it's actually Valkyria. I can't really pronounce her surname properly, but it's just what it is. Becky hit the hot tag. I think Liv hit the Oblivion onto Becky Lynch, but like Lyra kind of broke up the pin. In the end, Becky hit the manhandle slam for the win. I feel like one more of the match, you know, she lost. I thought she'd make Liv tap out with the disarmer, but unfortunately that's not the case. So Becky and Lyra Fakiri, because I don't know why, because they're both from Ireland. You know, you got like, you can call the original horsewomen to the new horsewomen. Yeah, they're doing this whole new horsewomen shit. You know, I don't like it. You know, who's that? I think you had Lyra Valkyria. I think you had Roxanne Perez. You had Julia and what's it? Stephanie Falker. You know, I don't know, man. But unfortunately, Becky and Lyra winning the belts. It didn't mean anything because the next night on Raw, you know, Liv and Raquel regained the belts, and then you had Becky turning onto Lyra Valkyria. I'm guessing Lyra's next program is going to be against Becky. I think this is going to be for the Women's Intercontinental Championship at Backlash. I think it makes sense because Seth turned heel, now Becky's turned heel. I hope Becky's new heel to run as a heel is much better. Her last run was a bit. I'm not a big fan of this Big Time Beck's gimmick Becky used in her last run as a heel. I think it's so cartoonish. It's not really her. It's totally against her character, man. To be honest, it's just so goofy. I think it's trying to copy. I feel like it's trying to be the women's version of Seth Rollins. You know, Seth is doing the same shit, coming out with wacky costumes. Becky's doing the same thing. It's just totally not her character, you know. You know, it's just make her as the man, you know, like, you know, a spin to her first heel run in 2018. But what it is, man. So yeah, I can't wait for that match between Lyra and Becky, man. Would see Becky winning the belt. We don't know. Like Lyra so far, I don't think she has a match since she won the title. Maybe on Raw, but not on a pay-per-view. So that's weird to me. The mid-card belts, you know, for the men and the women are not really defended on pay-per-view. I feel like maybe like a Saturday Night Main Event and an odd Raw and SmackDown, but not on a pay-per-view. I don't really call it pay-per-view because it's on streaming service. It's free to watch, you know. But It's just kind of weird. It's kind of weird. So that's another story for another time. After that, you had Stone Cold Steve Austin came out, driving his June buggy, and really announcing the attendance for this WrestleMania. Austin came in out was stupid. You know, you gotta have a legend there, but it's kind of weird. You know, I don't. It's kind of like, not a way to use. It's weird, like Austin's doing like like announcing the attendance for this WrestleMania and the combined attendance for both nights for WrestleMania 41. It's just dumb. It's like, why? Like, it's like I don't mind Austin. You know, the segment with him and Roddy Piper, and the Piper Pit segment for Mania 21, WrestleMania 30 segment with him, The Rock, and Hogan. You know, but I don't mind his like the impromptu and the Kevin Owens show segment. That was kind of like, you could say, serve a purpose, but this is just not serving the purpose. So I don't want to get in details of that. So let's move on to the main event. So the main event, we got Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, defending the belt against John Cena. John Cena's first match as a heel since, I think it was against Kurt Angle at No Mercy of 2003. And this is probably Cena's first WrestleMania match, and this is his last WrestleMania match, because he's going to retire later on in the year. But this is his first WrestleMania match as a heel throughout the whole, throughout his whole run, like his WrestleMania matches. He wrestled as a babyface against Big Show, against JBL, Triple H, Edge, Big Show in that triple threat match, Randy Orton, Triple H in that triple threat match of Mania 24, The Rock, the two matches at 28 and 29, Bray Wyatt, Rusev. I keep going on. The Miz, at 27 and 33. You know, I can go on. Trying to think. Batista, and Undertaker 34, Austin Theory 2 years ago. Yeah, so I'm not gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. This match, people say this is the worst match of all time, the worst WrestleMania main event of all time. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You're wrong. I don't think it's the worst. It's the worst. I call it the weakest of all time. You know, this is John Cena and The Rock, WrestleMania 29 all over again. It's got its blueprints all over it. You know, I feel like this is it. I feel like it's just like Rock Cena Mania 29 2.0. You know, they're both just kicking out finishers. You know, Cody got booed. You know, you can tell the fans were cheering for Cena. Fans booing Cody, or Cody's getting that mixed reaction. They're just like kicking out finishers, you know, like Crossroads. Cena kicked out of Crossroads, and Cody cut out attempts. Cody kicked out of like multiple AA attempts, you know. Cena was like one more in the match teasing like he's doing the five knuckle shuffle. He managed to do that, you know. Anyway, so out comes Travis Scott, you know, disappointed. I thought we're gonna see The Rock, you know, come along, cost Cody the championship, but no, Travis Scott. Understand why? Because he's singing the theme music for this WrestleMania. I get it. You know, he was useless. He was useless in that segment when at the Elimination Chamber last month when Cena turned heel, and now he's useless. Don't know why. I don't want to get into it, but it's just what it is. Sorry about that. You know, I was like distracted. You know, from the background from outside. So this time it's nice and quiet now. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, Travis Scott is useless, you know. He brings nothing to the table. I forgot to mention this, there was a referee bump, and then, yeah, like Travis Scott's theme music hit, you know. Cody hit Cena with the Crossroads for the second, third, or fourth time, whatever it is. I kind of lost count, you know, because they're just spamming finishers or kicking out all each other's finishers, you know. Yes, Travis Scott pulled, I think it was Cena or Rhodes out of the ring. I think it was Cena, I'm not 100% sure, so Anyway, so Cody hit the crossroads onto Travis Scott. I don't know why he's there. Like, people want to see The Rock. I really want to see The Rock. Like the final boss. But unfortunately, that's not the case. I'll get to more of that later. So in the end, Cena low blows Cody Rhodes, hits him with the championship belt, and pins Cody Rhodes to win the championship for the 17th time. So yeah, Cena broke Ric Flair's record. Yeah, it's like speculation that Ric Flair has more than 16 world titles. If you count his Mid-Atlantic championships, I don't really count it as a world title. I don't really count it. That's just me. But it's just, I don't know, man. I don't really count it as a world title. But it's debatable. But the way Cena wins it, that's kind of fine. But it's a weak. That is the weakest end of Cody's title run. He won the belt 1 year prior. Or 1 year ago against Roman Reigns. Even though this match is not overbooked, but I wish they had overbooked a little bit. To make it, to add more drama. I don't think there's any drama in this match. I think it was a massive letdown. So Cena winning the title was cool. Is knowing that this is going to be his last title run in his career, and this is Cena's first championship win for 8 years. He beat AJ Styles for the championship at the Royal Rumble in 2017. He haven't hold the belt ever since. But yeah, it was a shit way. For we're getting The Rock. It makes sense. Like do the whole segment at the Elimination Chamber last month, and we never got it. Rock did the not the two fingers across his neck gesture. And then you thought like The Rock come to the ring, and attempt to cost Cody the championship. Unfortunately, we never got it. You could probably set up Rock and Cody probably for Mania 42. Unfortunately, we never got it. To end this trilogy. It's been the start of this trilogy at last year's WrestleMania. And it looks like they continue it in this year's WrestleMania. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You can have the blow off at Mania 42. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I feel like it just made Cody Cody and Cena look chumps. I feel like Blend is on The Rock for this. I get Rock is the busy guy. He's an actor. At least you could just show up. It's WrestleMania. Show up, cause hit. You can have a distraction. You could have. I don't mind Cody kicked out the Rock bottom attempt. Or the people's elbow attempt, but nope. Cena low blow, Cena low blow Cody and him with the belt, and that was it. This is dumb, and it looks like Cody's taking the time off, so we're not going to get Cena Cody 2 at Backlash. We're getting John Cena Randy Orton. I'll be fine with that because they haven't feud for 11 years on a one-on-one standpoint. It'd be cool to see this match at Backlash, But I think Cody might take some time off. Probably do Cena and Cody at SummerSlam because this is Cena's last WrestleMania match, I think this is his weakest match. Cena's matches recently has been weaker. Very weak, It's like his match against Austin Theory was weak. He didn't do nothing for Cena. He don't even do anything for Austin Theory. Now this match, I think his last really good Cena match, was against Bray Wyatt in the Firehouse Funhouse match at Mania 36 Night 2. But besides that, it's just his matches, I think it's declined, Even though I think it's even though Cena looks terrible, not terrible. He's not ill, but it's just seeing Cena with, he's now pale with the hair. He's got a bald spot on the back of his head. He looks slimmer. It's maybe it's due to his movie roles. So it's just what it is. But I'm fine. If Cena's run as world champion for the last time, be good. It's gonna be SummerSlam because let's be honest, he's gonna retire the end of the year. So it's likely he's gonna drop the belt to probably Cody. Who knows? But I think the last opponent for Cena hope it's CM Punk. You know, that would be cool. Like that would be really cool. It would be a good way. It'd be a good way. Both in their, you could say, in their mid to late 40s. Haven't really fought one on one for 12 years. That would be a good way to, a good match to end Cena's career. But like, I don't think it's likely to be on Raw because I don't know if they're going to do a pay per view in December. They haven't done one. I think the last December pay per view they did was, I think it was Clash of the not Clash of the Castle, Clash of the Champion 2020. I might be wrong about this, but it's just what it. It's just what it is, man. But we've got the rest of the year. We got the summer to look forward to, and yeah. But besides that, man, you know, I think Cody did have a good run as the WWE champion, the undisputed WWE champion. You know, I think this is the weakest, or probably not the worst, but the weakest title match, weakest match of his title reign. You know, he had two good bangers against AJ Styles at Clash of the Castle and Backlash France. He had a good program in Solo Sikoa. He had a good feud. He had a good feud with Kevin Owens. And now this match against Cena is the weakest. But yeah, I can see him he's gonna likely taking time off, taking a vacation. You know, like he's been in a, like, you could say the third main event in a row. Well, the fourth main event in a row because he, like, you know, he main events Roman at Mania 39, and then night one of last year's WrestleMania in the tag team match between teaming up with him and Seth Rollins against The Rock and Roman Reigns, and then he fought Reigns again the following night at Mania 40, and now this match against Cena. You know, he main event 4 WrestleManias in a row. He main event 4. Not 4, but three WrestleManias in a row. I think it's time. I think he kind of burned out, you know, of doing this. You know, I think taking a break, you know, is good for him. Like, I think it will come back at SummerSlam. You know, I can see him winning another WWE Championship in the foreseeable future. Maybe, you know, as a heel, but who knows? But yeah. Like, yeah, it's a shit way to end WrestleMania 41. Or, you know, it's just like, it's not the worst of all time. People say it's the worst of all time. You're wrong. It's the weakest, but it's been worse. There's been worse matches, worse WrestleMania matches to end the WrestleMania. You know, worst WrestleMania main event to close out of a WrestleMania. Like, I don't know, against Reigns. His match Reigns versus The Undertaker, Orton versus Triple H for the WWE Championship. You know, they've been worse, but not this one. So it's just what it is. So that's my 2 cents on it. So my overall rating of WrestleMania 41 Night 2 or WrestleMania 41 Sunday is a 6 out of 10. Wow. In the first 6 two-nighted WrestleManias in the past 5 years, this one is the weakest I ever saw. Like, it's really disappointing. Like, WrestleManias 39 and 40 are the strongest two-nighted shows, you know, in the modern era. But this is just the weakest. Not saying it's the worst, but the weakest. Like, this is like a bit of the polar opposite than the previous evening. Like, the previous evening was, it starts out slow, and then the second half kind of like speed up. But this is like in reverse. You know, the matches I put in the good is the opener, the triple threat match for the women's world title, Io, Rhea, Bianca. I really enjoyed the street fight between Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, and the fatal 4-way match for the Intercontinental title. That was really good. And I also put like Becky returns. That was like, you got quite a moment. But besides that, you know, no bad matches on the show. But the matches I put in the okay is, you know, Randy Orton versus Joe Hendry, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, too much shtick, the women's tag team title match, and also the main event. You know, wasn't a bad match, it was just weak. The only thing I put in the bad is Travis Scott and the ending to the main event. You know, with no Rock. You know, it's just like, you know, how we bounce back, how we'll go from there. You know, yeah, we got Backlash in 2 weeks time, 2 or 3, like 2.5 or you know 3 weeks time. I don't know. It's on the 10th of May, but besides that, you know, it doesn't make me go back to watch this WrestleMania. I think there's a lot to desire. You know, it's a massive drop off from the 1 year prior, WrestleMania 40. You know, with Cody closing out the show, but yeah, it's just what it is. You know, I'm not be pissed off about that, but it's just like, you know, just a really disappointed, like, not bad, but it's just disappointed. You know what? It's just a very flat WrestleMania. So, what's your thoughts on WrestleMania 41 Night 2 or WrestleMania 41 Sunday? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button, click the like, click the bell, subscribe to the Sensible Man Network on YouTube. Be part of the Century Unit for more wrestling videos and more. And this is the Century Man officially signing out. Check you later.